Consciously, like we talked about in the beginning before we started, that's why you were chosen, I guess. I really appreciate your presentation. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to do my bit here. Let me see. So many windows open. Excuse me, everyone. All right, so let's begin. Cancer, as everyone knows, June 22nd through July 23, the seat of heart and home. And we've reached that part of the solar year when the sun has reached its zenith, that place and time in the year when the sun stands still at the solstice and begins its gradual descent to the south. The sun has touched the highest point in the sky of the northern hemisphere, and it begins its retreat south with the days ever shortening. This is the place and time of the year when the juncture of Gemini and Cancer meet. This time of year, our ancestors held in highest regards as they paid homage to all the creative forces of nature. This repeated cycle was so revered that most of the known civilizations of the past built their towers, pyramids, and holy sites to signify their recognition and humble appreciation of this life-giving cycle when the sun touches the gates of heaven. They held celebrations and made offerings in acknowledgement of their appreciation of this life-giving time of the year. The Old Testament recounts the cycle in the story of Jacob and the steps of the ladder. We may understand the story as the sun ascending from Gemini toward the gate of heaven shared by Cancer, where the sun then begins its descent. This gate is the point where the thoughts and feelings of all creatures in the north merge. In our religion of the stars, it is shown that through each incarnation from mineral, vegetative to animal states of existence, there is a progression up the steps of the ladder. From the astral plane, where the first hints of life are manifested in the mineral world, to the decline and dissipation of that physical form, to the reabsorption and conversion back to the astral plane again. Life and consciousness slowly progress until the next descent back from the astral to the physical plane again in the vegetative state. Then again, the cycle repeats and the life form and consciousness again ascends to the astral plane and incarnates again and descends into the physical realm through the animal kingdom. Over and over, we climb and descend the ladder of our existence and consciousness until that time when we've reached our zeniths and eventually ascend from the physical plane to the astral plane, again to reconstitute and assimilate the life lessons of our last incarnation. But our journey's not yet at an end, and we are again on a new path of evolution in the non-physical realms. Our ancient ancestors somehow understood this cycle and venerated it and obligated themselves to it. Their survival and existence on the physical plane demanded their adherence to these cycles, and so they held them in highest regard. It's through the sanctified and holy offices of the Creator that we're privileged to share in this creation. Now, I'm going to share a, a prayer that we use in Masonry that acknowledges the eternal debt that we owe to the Creator. And I'm not giving up any secrets. This is monitorial for those in the room who are of the same stripe. Almighty and eternal God, great architect and ruler of the universe, at whose creative fiat all things were first made, we, the frail creatures of thy providence, humbly implore thee to pour down upon this convocation assembled in thy holy name the continued dew of thy blessing. Now it's through such humility and obeisance to the Creator that we have this opportunity to share together and thrive together and worship together and to grow together and share all the gifts that we've been given. The gift of the Father, our Creator, is the greatest gift. It is the gift of free will and consciousness, the gift of opportunity to fill our work in His great plan so that we may one day return to His side and share in more of His great work. It's been my gradual understanding that being a good parent is the most fulfilling and also the most difficult of the many roles I've had to fulfill. How much greater a burden and sacrifice it is that our Father, our Creator, has given us the opportunity and ability to fulfill not only our goals and ambitions, but also His, by allowing us the opportunity of free will to fulfill our roles in his great work. The sign of Cancer is that of home and family. From Zane. As the commencement of Cancer marks the highest declination of the sun and the boundary of the place of home, so also, as signifying parenthood, it is in truth the very gate of heaven. What a gift it is to be part of this home and this family of the Church of Light. Our Creator, through his servants, has given us a true map and formula to progress in this holy realm. The path has always been in front of us, but often we're sidetracked and distracted by the routines of our daily lives. We easily forget our place and forget to give thanks for all of our gifts and challenges. We forget to pray for and use his guidance, and we suffer accordingly, and so do those around us. As we mark our progress through this life, let's not forget that we shall all have been blessed in this life and that we owe a debt to share our gifts, our knowledge, experience, and wisdom. The giver receives an equal measure to the one who has been given. When our efforts and thoughts are for the welfare of others, we displace our own selfishness and inadequacies. I'll end this with another quote from Zane. Parenthood tends to displace selfishness with those tender affections that most quickly strengthen the soul and build the spiritual body. Thank you.